Hey everybody, welcome to the Players Take episode 294. I'm your host Justin DeSimone, joined by my co-host Montrell Rice. Montrell, how are you doing this week?
Super busy week. Just been doing a lot of I'm juggling like 3 projects, so yeah, it's just been a super
I
busy
am.
week.
Yep,
Yeah,
at work. Well,
yeah,
I have been not not super busy, but busy enough despite being off from work. So, um, but definitely have had some gaming time in there and other stuff, watching some shows and whatnot. So, it's been a good week for me. I needed this. It's been a nice like recharge. Um, so so yeah. Do you want to just get right into it this week?
yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. All right, everybody. For those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter at The Players Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com, and we will answer your questions on the show. All right, Montreal. Let's just get right into it with what we've been playing. Do you want to go first? I think it's mostly been
Yeah,
one game for you, probably.
it's been 2 games. I've just been playing Metaphor, and then I jumped onto League, and I've been playing that solo, and that's been a terrible experience
When
for
did you
me.
do that? I've been asking all week. What the fuck?
Oh, really? I think I have I think my phone goes silent on
Bro,
at
I'm
7 o'clock,
like,
bro.
I'm off all week, and it's like you guys are just like fucking abandoned me, bro. Like I literally I asked Monday, I think, and yesterday, and nobody said shit. So
Yeah, Monday I had a really bad league day and I got off like really bad. It was really bad. And then I think Tuesday I got home early. I played 2 games with Salty on his Smurf account and I did absolutely fucking terrible.
mhm.
And uh he couldn't even carry it. I was doing so bad. I think I was just like I don't know. Um and then yeah, today or yesterday rather, um, I think I played like 2 games because I've been getting home early a little bit earlier lately because
Mhm.
I've been going into work early. So I think I played like 2 or 3 games, and yeah, I don't know, man. It's almost like I just want to give into the meta at this point and just play like a fucking mage that can wave clear and roam the map. Like I can play a Malzahar or a
Yeah.
fucking Xerath or something like that, and I can probably obliterate the entire game, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's it's to the point where I have to turn on my chat now to tell my teammates to shut the fuck up and like do the objective. And when I do that, they actually listen instead
Yeah.
of me just playing mute all and try to ping and everything like that. It's actually insane how stupid these players are. Like I don't even know why I play this game, man. Like it's actually insane.
I mean, I feel more I feel better. I'm pretty chill this week, honestly. I wanted to play yesterday. I was kind of bummed that nobody wanted to play, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And then I just started playing
Yeah,
something else. So I was like,
yeah. I Monday it was really bad. It was so bad I went to bed early. Like that's how bad the mood was for me.
oh
Like I was
no.
so mad, man. I was so
Yeah.
mad. I went to bed early. I've never been this mad at a game before, and I was just like, maybe I need to stop playing this game. And then I was just like, no,
I mean,
if
that
other
happened to
people
me.
can
That
give,
happened to me on Saturday.
oh
I think it
really,
was Saturday. Yeah, well, no, we were playing because we stayed up till like, oh, dude, it was like 4 a.m. Sunday morning or something.
really, we
Playing over the
did.
weekend. Yeah, dude, that was this weekend. That was this past
Oh
weekend.
shit,
I
yeah,
felt like that session like murdered you guys or something. Because yeah, I was like, why does nobody want to play? But I was like, oh, whatever.
and
Because
I was just
I
trying
that
to,
was a session where I was getting really I was getting super agitated, dude. I don't remember. There was like the one game. Oh, I remember what was going on. Yeah, you and Jet were talking about Star Trek, and like I just like nobody was paying attention. I felt like in that match, and we were getting wrecked as a result, and I was getting pissed. Like I was just like, fuck, dude. Like because like I kept like Jet was just like kind of standing around while he's talking to you, and I'm like, dude, I'm literally dying, and he's just standing there. you know, I was like, and then there was like a couple moments where he walked out and just like completely overextended himself and died. You know, it was like it was frustrating. So, I mean, maybe the
Oh
break is
yeah,
what I needed from the game for a few days, to be honest. But um,
yeah.
how was the new patch last night?
I literally have not noticed any difference, bro. I'm gonna
Yeah,
be honest with you.
and supposedly they
At
nerfed
least,
AP.
yeah, I don't notice a difference. I still think AP is crazy. I really though I don't even think that AP is crazy. I think the one thing that's really crazy are tanks. Like I have to resort to banning Mundo
Mundo, yeah,
or Kali. Like, and she's not a tank or anything, but she's just so
bursty,
um she's so bursty and
fast.
in the lower elo play. I can't. I can keep up with her. It's not me. I'm worried about when I pick her. It's everyone else. And I can shut her down in lane, and then if I take her first tower, she may go roam, and I'll ping that she's missing or whatever, and bot lane may overextend or something like that, and then she's down there and she's killing them, and then she's back in the game, and then there's nothing I can do about it anymore.
Right.
Mundo is just Mundo. Like I don't like him being in the game simply because he's Mundo. Like he does too much damage. He's too tanky. I think he
Yeah,
needs a fucking nerf.
his regen is so silly. Like it's I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
it's to the
stupid.
point
It's like
now where
yeah.
it's to the point now where I'm like dodging. I'm doing strategic dodges. Like if I see on other team they have like I dodged a game where they legitimately had Mordekaiser, Volibear, Mundo,
Oh my
Nautilus, and
god.
eh, and then
What?
Ziggs. And I was like, you know what, I'm
What a
dodging.
team! What a
Because
team, dude! What the hell?
you can't stop them, bro. That is a
Yeah.
frontline
No, they just
massacre
you
team.
can't. That's the thing. You can't like if you're gonna pick a team comp like that. What happens is like you can't stop them. Like they have so much health and are so tanky that they literally just walk to you. There's no counterplay to it. If they do it as a group, if they the three of them walk up to you, which they're probably going to do, you're gonna die. Like you know, it's like the team probably won't be able to handle it. You know, because
Yeah,
even if
and
you focus one of them down, the other two will just tear you apart. You know, so it's
exactly.
like yeah.
So,
Then you got
um,
Ziggs in the back line.
yeah, exactly. And
Oh,
then
it
he's just
sounds
taking towers
miserable.
super. He would just take towers super fast, and I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah,
this is not worth my time. And I dodged, and I was like on a 5 minute dodge timer. But it's just like, yeah, I have to
yeah,
resort to taking strategic dodges to climb and stuff like that. And I just don't think that's fair. I don't think I should have to do stuff like that. And like that's a legitimate strategy people use, and like coaches will tell you do that. Like you see the team comps bad, you should just dodge. And it's like I shouldn't have to do that though. I should be able to play and overcome the adversity, even if I'm the better player. Like, no,
yeah.
it's literally just team diff in sometime in a chat or whatever, or in a champ select. So I don't know. It's just I think the game's in a good state. I just think there are certain things that are overpowered. I think tanks are really bad in low elo, or really good rather in low elo. I think the low elo matchmaking is really fucking terrible. Um, I don't know what they're doing with the matchmaking. Some games I go 14-2, and then some days I can barely get out of the fucking lane or whatever the
Laning
fuck. And
phase.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like I don't know. But I have been
Well,
playing Metaphor. I'm
well,
sorry.
did you? So one more question. Did you notice the bounty changes?
No. Well,
Okay,
yeah.
because
Actually, I did notice
it
about.
should have been a significant difference. Like you would have been seeing like granular gold values when you kill people. Like 310 gold instead of 300 or something.
Oh yeah, I did see like a
Yeah,
weird. So on the scoreboard, it shows 450, but then when you click it, like to ping it to somebody, it shows 469. So
yeah.
it was. I mean, I
So it
don't
only
know.
shows and it shows still shows in incremental values, but the value is to the gold piece is the bounty value now, which
Yeah,
I actually like that change. I don't think like having the thresholding that was happening the way it worked before, I think is not a true you're going to have these slingshot, you know, gold value changes where now it should hopefully be more smooth, I would think. Hopefully if
yeah.
they did the
Hopefully.
formula correct. So,
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I just don't like one thing I really don't like right now, and I guess this is like a testament to me or whatever, but it's just like you can be doing good the entire game, and if you fuck up one time, that's the entire game. And I don't like I don't know, it seems stupid to me. Like There was one game where like we were literally carrying. I was literally carrying the entire game. I was like 14-10 or 14-7 rather, or something like that, or 14-6 before I died. And then the team literally just inted or whatever. And I'm like, that's the game. We can't win the game anymore. We pushed all the way to their base and we were able to get like a couple of towers and stuff like that, but we were super low. And I was pinging them to back. I'm like, back, 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 back. And they didn't back. They kept trying to fight. And all of them died. And then the team just rushed down middle. And then I was already back in base.
Yeah.
And because I knew we weren't going to survive the fight, literally everyone was like below 10% health. Like that's how bad it was. And I'm like, I knew we weren't going to survive the fight. So I'm like, everyone just back. And they just kept kept trying to like get minions and back and kite the minions back and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. And we all just died. And all of them just died. And I was just like, that was the game where I legitimately lost my shit and I stopped playing the game. I was like, I can't believe we just lost this game. Like,
Yeah.
I was so mad. I carried that entire game and then we lost. So I don't care what anyone says. Like bronze elo is, especially this season, is probably one of the worst
It's
elos I've ever been
miserable.
in.
It's really miserable. It makes the game not fun, dude. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, because
like
everybody in bronze elo thinks they're god, you know, and I honestly we're probably included in that, but it's like it's just really frustrating.
yeah, and it
When
was only
you know,
like it was only one time where I felt legitimately bad, and that was when I was playing with Salty because I didn't even warm up. I just jumped into the game, and then both games I was I mean, both games. One game I got autofilled to ADC, and then the other game that was my first Silas game. So like I
yeah,
was just like it was fucking terrible. So it was just like, and then in his eyes, it's probably like, well, it is you because you're ass. And it's like, no, I'm not ass. It's just that was like two bad games. But like majority of the time, I'm doing well or whatever. I don't know. It's just I'm even looking at my replays to see what the fuck I'm doing wrong and shit. Like that's how bad it is. Like I'm trying to
yeah,
climb and everything.
yeah,
But I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah. And then I've been playing Metaphor. I haven't touched it since Sunday. I'm probably gonna go back to it this weekend, probably on Sunday or Friday, or probably tomorrow or Friday. But I just unlocked another character, and that character has a mechanic built into their summon or whatever, and it's like, all right, we're adding more layers to the game again, like 40 hours into the game.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's the story's really good though. I'm still going to continue playing it. I just need a break because I've been playing the game like nonstop.
Mhm.
So I'm going to jump back into the game. And play it some more. Uh, but yeah, I like all the characters and everything like that. Um, I think the game. So one thing I do want to specify that the game is different from Persona as far as the combat. Instead of getting the one more time, you have a turn limit or you have turns or whatever, right? And it can show
Yeah.
you have points on your turns, and they're represented by little crystals. I forgot to explain this or whatever. So if you get like if you hit enemy's weakness or whatever, right? You get if you use a full turn and nothing unique happens, that's 1 point. That's one full point. And then your next character goes, and then they use something that's one full point, and then the next character goes, that's one full point, and then the next character goes, that's one full point. That's 4 points. But uh if you do a weakness or a critical hit, then it cuts in half. It still goes to the next character, but then that other character gets another turn. But it cuts the points system in half. And then you
Yeah.
can do other slick stuff too, like you can pass, and that will use half a point. So then, if you want like to use a character for like combination attacks or something like that, so
Mhm.
it is different from Persona in that regard. Yeah, I think for me, I think the battle system is just way more faster than Persona, in my opinion. And I don't know why I feel that way. I just feel like it is. Um, and I don't know. I think it's just a cool game. I think people who come over to it will like it. If you didn't
Is it
really like
a?
Persona,
Do you think it's
you
a
said
game of
what?
the year candidate?
No,
Okay.
no. I think that was gonna. I actually think that's gonna go to Warhammer 40K. Like
Yeah.
legitimately, yeah. Um, honestly, this is. I mean, y'all can tear me down if y'all want to. I think this is a weak year for Game of the Year. Only game I really haven't played that came out this year that's like a major release was Dragon's Dogma 2. So I have to play that game. I think Atlas Fallen came out this year, or was that last year? I think that came out last year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that game off the top.
Yeah, that came out last year, so that don't count. But yeah, I don't know. For Game of the Year candidates, it's a really weak thing. I don't think Wukong deserves it. Did Stellar Blade come out this year, or that was last
Yeah,
year?
it did.
That was this year. Stellar Blade might get like a runner up.
Yeah.
But I think
I mean,
Wukong
it's
would win
definitely
over
not
Stellar
in
Blade.
that echelon, like
Yeah,
if it were like let's say one of those games were to win, like that feels like a weak year, like
yeah, yeah.
I just feel like
I
I think this year has just been a year where we got a lot of solid games, like really solid
Yeah,
games,
yeah, and I think that's really good. I think that's good, and I don't need any super big releases to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I actually like where we're at. I think an indie game might win Game of the Year. Some unknown indie game that actually might, or a game that we probably didn't play that might win Game of the Year over some of these games.
Yeah.
Not to harp on none of these games, but they are AA games, which is totally fine. And I just don't think like none of them have wowed me. The only one that legitimately wowed me, to be honest with you, was Warhammer 40K, and I played
Mm,
that
okay.
campaign. So that was it. But yeah, I haven't really touched Wulong since I've been playing Metaphor, so I might as well delete this. I do have a couple hours. I do have a lot of hours into that game though. But
Yeah.
that's about it.
Okay, fair enough. I've been playing a few things. League a little bit, not that much actually, but League. I've been continuing Joan d'Arc. I'm on like chapter 5, I think. Now I think I'm on battle 22, I believe. Out of I did look online to see how long the game is. I think there's 35 story battles, so I'm on battle 22 of 35. So I'm like 2/3 of the way through the game. It sounds like. This game is I don't know, it's starting to wear on me like a little bit. I'm not sure I'm gonna finish it at this point. I'm not sure I care. Like, dude, I had a battle where I hadn't played it for a couple days, and I was in a session, and I beat the battle that I saved on, and then I went to the next battle, and that battle had an objective where like no enemy could reach a certain part of the map or something like that. Like there were certain squares you couldn't let them get to basically. And this is not a
Mm,
game where you have like a ton of characters. So and in that particular battle, your entire party was like super spread out to start the battle. Like they were all over the map. So one of the enemies, I mistakenly let one of the enemies through. Like I fucked up and forgot about the objective, and one of them got through, and I got a game over screen, and I went to load my game, and I fucking hadn't saved between the battles, and I had to redo the other battle that I had started on. I was so pissed, dude, because I was positive I had saved, but I guess I didn't actually like confirm it or whatever. So I like had to redo that, and then I did the battle that I failed on, and I beat it. It wasn't a problem, but then like I'm just kind of getting to the point where I'm like, I don't know, it's just this game's just like annoying. Like it's not a super fun game. It's like it's not bad, but it's not great either. It's kind of like I'd call this a super average like SRPG. If I were gonna give it a score up to this point, like it would be in the 6 range, probably. Like like barely above average to me. Like it's a competently made video game, but it's nothing special. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna finish that. I haven't played it in a couple days, and I'm honestly at this point I might not anymore. Turtle WoW, I've been playing that as more as well. I got my hunter to level 52, so I'm starting to get up there. I did a few dungeons this past weekend as well. I was able to do Zul'Farrak, and then one other one I'm forgetting. Making some progress there. I'm still enjoying this, still having fun with it. It is interesting though, because I remembered I went and decided to take a look at retail, the War Within, and just look at some gameplay of it, because I've heard that this is the best World of Warcraft's been in a long time, probably since like Legion. Potentially, like people are really positive on this expansion, and there were some things they were doing with this expansion that had me very interested as well in it before it came out. So I just started looking into it, and I'm not I don't know, like the problem is I don't want to buy it right now. Like I don't want to spend the $50 to buy it and then it's sub for $15. So I'm like, man, I don't know, because I want to check it out and like give it a shot. But at the same time, I'm just not sure I want to like spend that money right now. So I'm kind of waffling back and forth on that. I know Andy would jump in with me like instantaneously if I did play it. So I'm sure I could get a couple people on. Him and his brother would probably jump on, I'm sure. Because they added talent trees back into this expansion. And they've been gone for a very long time, since like Pandaria, I think.
Mhm.
So they added talent trees back, and they're completely different from the way they used to be. But I was looking at them, and they look intriguing. They look kind of cool, actually, like the way they did it. So I don't know. There's a lot of different specs, and there's just a lot of different ways you can build your character now, because there's like three core talent trees for each class for the most part. Basically you pick the path you want to go down. But then there's at level 70, there's a you start getting talent points for a hero talent tree, basically, which is like a specialization within the specialization. So there's like different combinations of these talent trees with the hero talent trees for each class that you can make, giving you a lot of different ways you can play your character, actually, which is cool. So it's an intriguing it's kind of an intriguing thing. So I don't know. I may check that out. I may not. I'm not sure. I'm still debating about it. But the big game the last couple days that I've kind of gotten into is Europa Universalis IV. So this was on sale last week, and I decided to buy everything for it because I've always wanted, like, I played this game way back when it came out, and I just couldn't get into it back then. And the game just wasn't like super robust at that point in time. It had its core gameplay systems in place, but a lot of the kind of accoutrements that come from what is now 10 years of expansions kind of make the game more fleshed out and more interesting to play. So now I decided to give it a shot, and I like have completely gotten absorbed into this game now at this point. So I started playing it. I did the tutorial, and then I went online and looked to see what people's recommendations were for like beginner level civilizations to play as in this game. And people were mentioning one in India. Not actually remembering the name of it right now, but I'm playing that faction though. And I decided to play as that faction, and man, this game is fucking super good, man. This game is right up my alley. This is the type of strategy game that I just fucking like lose my shit for when I start to figure it out. And I'm kind of in that mode now with this game. Is I'm kind of learning all the systems and the way the game plays and everything. And dude, this game is so fucking good. So basically, what it is, I'm not gonna go into everything. Right, this game is way too complicated to explain
Mhm.
on a podcast like this, but just to give you guys a basic breakdown. So this is made by Paradox. They make grand strategy games, and this is one of those where basically what they are is when you look at them, they kind of look like Risk in a digital form, where you're looking down at like a world, like a view of a world map, basically. And the world map is broken into different provinces that are just different territories that you control in the game, that every nation has. Like every nation is broken into a certain number of provinces, and the whole map's like that. And the goal of the game, I'm not even sure how you win right now. Actually, um, I'm still like playing through the game, so I don't really know. I didn't look it up or anything like that. I'm just trying to play through it organically. But every faction has their own what is called a mission tree, basically. And I think this is how you win, is basically you do the mission tree. The game will give you certain missions to do as each faction, and those will be somewhat historically accurate. So for this nation that I'm playing in India, the goal for them is to basically over time take over all of like continental India, and eventually unify it into one nation, is kind of the
Mhm.
goal. But the thing is, you start early in the game. You start off with a very small portion of it. You don't even have full control of the bottom part of the peninsula yet. There's a bunch of like little mini factions there that you need to take over and stuff, and then there's some bigger players up in the north side of India that you also have to deal with as well. And I'm not even close to like conquering all of it. Right, I've been playing for a couple days, maybe 15 to 20 hours total that I've put into this. And I mean, I'm not even at the point where I have the entire lower peninsula under my control yet. So it's uh very complicated game. It's like I said, when you look at it, you're gonna think Risk, but that is so like basic compared to what it actually is that it's not really a good descriptor. In the sense of like, because this is a war game. Ultimately, is the goal of the game is to take over territory, and fight your neighbors, and beat them in military conquest and take their territory. That's kind of the main driving force of the game at all times. But there are other elements to the game though beyond that, like diplomacy, like diplomatic relations with different nations, your economic stability. There's trade in the game, religion in the game. There's like your managing your government. Like you can have different government types. You can have different government kind of focuses in the game. There's technology in the game that you research as well. There are these things called idea groups that you can do. That like it's super complicated. Like so this game is really complex, but once you start kind of getting in there and peeling the layers back, it really all starts to make sense and work really well together. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I'm starting to figure the game systems out in a very basic level, and seeing how they interact with each other and understanding like kind of how to take advantage of them. And I'm having a lot of fun with it as a result. The first time I played it back in the day, I tried to play it more like Civilization, where I'm like super passive. I never take over anyone's territory, and that's just not the way this game is, really. The game kind of almost forces you to constantly expand. Like this is an imperialist game, so it wants to play out the way real human history did, where like countries kind of took over territory over time in this era. So the era of the game you're playing from is from 1444 to 1830. Those are the years the game takes place over. Um, and over that period of time, like you can start your gameplay through at any point in time in that timeline. So I could start the game as India was in like 1630, or 1700. I could go all the way to 1776 and play as the United States when it formed. The entire world is available to play in this game as well. So you can play as like a native tribe in the north, like in North America, if you want to. You could play as somebody in South America, like you play as the Aztecs. You can play as like tons of different civilizations. So the game has a huge breadth of options available to you, and that's really the fun of it, I think, is experiencing the game from all these different perspectives. The game is called Europa Universalis, so Europe is kind of the
Mhm.
main place you start, I would say, that the game is kind of built on. But I think over the last 10 years they've added, like through the expansions, they've added these other regions. They've added Asia, they've added South America, they've added North America, and kind of flesh them out so that they're more playable and there's more depth to them, to the point that like any place you play is pretty deep, like has some depth to it. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm like completely absorbed in this game right now. I don't think this is a game anybody in our friend group would really get into. It's too complicated. But it is super fun. I'm fucking loving it. This game is made for somebody like me. Like this is just my kind of shit. And it's great because it feels like a complete game and kind of has all the gameplay systems in it. And Europa Universalis V is supposedly in development, maybe coming out in the next couple of years. But I don't care because I know the way that Paradox does this is they release the game and it's kind of in its like minimum viable product state, basically. And then over like a very long period of time, 10 years, they expand the game with expansions. And that's kind of how they make their money off people, is by hitting you for $20 every time an expansion comes out, or $30 every time an expansion comes out. And if you want the latest gameplay, that's what you do. But I'm like, bro, I haven't played Universalis 4 and I have everything, and this game is like super robust. So fuck it, this is the game I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna invest in Universalis 5 probably when it comes out. So I'm like super excited to get into this game and get like really deep in this game, because it's just like it feels complete. Like it feels really complete, and I don't know, it's just really exciting game for me to like discover at this point. And I don't know, Montreal, does it sound appealing to you at all, or not your
Yeah, it
type of
sounds kind
game?
of. Yeah, I don't think this is my type of game.
I mean, if you get on Discord at some point this week, I can show you some gameplay of it really quick. But like, I think you're gonna find it really boring because like the way the game plays is it's real time, so time passes. If you don't have the game paused, time just passes. And there's different speeds at which it can pass. You can set the speed however you like. You can make it super fast. You can make it super slow if you want. But and you can also pause the game at any time. So at least in single player you can. Multiplayer, I think there's like limited pausing available in multiplayer, but I don't know, I haven't done it. So but the game basically is like you'll unpause the game and things will happen. So you can like give your units orders, you can move them around, you can go to your provinces, build buildings, manage your provinces. You can do stuff in your empire, manage your empire in some way. But basically, the way I've been playing the game, and I think this is kind of how most people probably play it, is you'll kind of pause the game, do a bunch of stuff, and then you kind of let that stuff play out, and you'll just wait. Essentially, you'll just let the game go for, I don't know, like 5 minutes or something, however long. Whatever the time period is you need it to go, and then you'll pause the game again when major things happen, like somebody declares war on you, or somebody sends you like a trade offer, or like sends you some kind of diplomatic message or something, or an event happens in your empire, and you'll pause the game and kind of make those things go. So it's very, I'd say, slow. It can be very slow, I guess. Is like there's periods of time where you're not doing a whole lot, where you'll just kind of be sitting there watching the game move forward, and like that isn't inherently interesting unless you're kind of immersed into the region you're in, and you're like, oh man, like these guys are fucking attacking those guys. Oh fuck yeah, like I kind of needed that. Oh, maybe now is the time for me to start moving my military in position, and I like fucking backstab them or something, something like that. So it's like you got to pay attention to what's going on, but there's periods of time where you might not be, like, you're just kind of waiting, like because the way military works in this game is very interesting, where you have manpower available to you at any given time, and your
Mhm.
nation, when you make units, you deplete that manpower, obviously, but when you go to war, when you fight battles, you'll lose your units, and your manpower will automatically deplete to refill those regiments, and then you'll have very little manpower at a certain point late in the war. That's kind of the way war works in this game for both sides. So when the war is over, you kind of just spend a lot of time kind of sitting around and letting your manpower restore. It's like you're just kind of like, yeah, I don't really want to go to war again so soon because I don't have like manpower backing in order to actually go fight the war.
Yeah.
So the game is can be very slow at times, but it's also really rewarding though. Like I've fought a few wars already, and I've taken major territory from my northern neighbor. They're kind of the main guy you have to fight first, or main for the nation I'm playing as, at least. And I've taken probably 9 of their territories so far, successfully, which has been pretty cool. But it's like the wars are really tough though. They can be really hard because they will have allies and you'll have allies, and your allies will actually come join the fight. Like, this is a game, this isn't like Civilization where the AI is fucking terrible. That's the reason this game is really appealing to me right now, is that the AI in this game is actually pretty sophisticated, I feel like, and understands how to play the game. Where they will send their military to they will flank you, they will go around you. If you start chasing them with a giant army, they'll just run away. Like they won't fight you. So it's very interesting in that regard too. I think that's another reason I'm finding the game really appealing, is that the AI feels like they're actually playing the same game as me. They're not cheating. Like, there's no bullshit. Like, they're playing at the same level I am. They have the same problems I have. They have events happen to them, positive and negative. Like, there's just not. It's like it feels like an even playing field. And that's happening globally throughout the entire map at all times, and that's the
Okay.
part of the game that's like really fucking cool, is that it's all simultaneously all happening. There's a ton of shit happening in Europe, and I have no idea what's going on. I can't see it. But when I get over there, I'm gonna see that like fucking Spain took over France or some crazy shit. And that's gonna be awesome to find that out, and see that. So I'm very excited to like get deeper into the game and explore the map and kind of see how the game played out and stuff like that. So So all that to say, this is a very deep strategy game. If you're not into strategy games that are super complex, like this is not for you. Don't look at it. You're not going to want to play it. But if anything I just mentioned like piques your interest, like I would really just say dive in at this point. You can get the game super cheap. I don't think it's on sale anymore, but it's going to be on sale probably fairly often going forward, with the game at the end of its lifespan. So I would really recommend it. I think it's really awesome. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. Okay. Sorry, I just talked a lot. I was ranting for like 15 minutes about this game. I've been so excited to talk about it, dude. I'm like so fucking amped. Like I'm loving this shit right now, dude. I was up till like 4 a.m. last night playing it. I couldn't put it down. I was like, I need to go to bed. I really need to go to bed, but god damn it, I want to keep going. Um, So I'm having a lot of fun with it. I haven't had a strategy game do this to me in a very long time. So I'm kind of embracing the degeneracy right now with it. So all right. Montreal, let's move out of what we've been playing into the news. And we have a decent amount of news this week. It's kind of quiet, but we got a lot of sales data from Circana to talk about. So but let's start with Nintendo. So Nintendo sent out something, this was a couple weeks ago now, for what was being termed as like an MMO Switch Online playtest, and it was leaked that it was for some kind of MMO of some sort. Well, the playtest went live today, actually. I think and people got their hands on it, and it turns out it's a very rough, the game is in a whatever it is in a very rough state. It's not like a full game, it's not fully fleshed out. It seems like a kind of proof of concept that they're letting people get their hands on, but it's very like Minecrafty. It seems like a building game of some sort. People were comparing it to like Dragon Quest Builders or Minecraft, where you kind of build stuff, but it's also got some kind of progression system in it where you can like level your character up, and that will unlock new things you can do and stuff like that. So doesn't seem like a full game, but I put this in the news though because it's so interesting. Because Nintendo's never really made, as far as I can think of, like an actual MMO before. So this is intriguing in the sense of that they're exploring this as a genre potentially. But Montreal, do you have any interest though in, I guess I want to keep it more generalized, like an MMO from Nintendo, whatever that looks like, whether it's something like Roblox or Minecraft, or it's a more traditional MMO like a World of Warcraft style.
Uh, I would rather it be like a more traditional MMO. I don't think I would want like a Roblox
Yeah.
situation, but I almost guarantee that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
That just makes more sense. To be honest with you, um, I'm not too sure because you just never know with fucking Nintendo. I mean, and on top of that, like I'm really not interested. The reason why I may not seem like I'm interested is because I'm just over the Switch. And I understand this may be some kind of playtest for the Switch too, but I'd
Mhm.
rather you just show me the playtest on the Switch too, or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the Switch anymore. And
Well, I
that
think
sucks
that's
to
what this
say.
is. I think that's what this is, though. Is whatever this is not going to come out on this current Nintendo Switch, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I suppose, but I don't know. It's just really weird to test it this late into development or this late into the Switch cycle, and then have people sign up for it as well. It's just really weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just me though. I don't know how you feel about it.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just I think they're just testing the waters for something for Switch too. Whatever it ends up being. I'm not personally interested in like a Minecraft or Dragon Quest Builders type game from them. I don't, those kind of games. Just I'm not interested in general, honestly. If it was like the right IP, if it's like Dragon Quest, right? I don't like Dragon Quest, but I can imagine if I did, I would be really into a game like that. But if they did like I don't know, like a Pokemon Builders or something, or fucking I don't know, from Nintendo, what, like Zelda Builders or something, I could imagine maybe being more interested in it. But yeah, if it's just some generic building the game they're doing, I don't really care. To me, this genre, the only interest for me in this kind of genre is IP specific stuff. Um, So that would be my only way in, I guess. But otherwise, yeah, I think this is just obviously what it is. I think it's just a play test. I think they're testing the waters or something. I don't know what kind of data they're trying to get necessarily, but whatever it is probably for Switch 2. So because I doubt the Switch can play like a full-fledged online game on
Hey,
it.
maybe this is why they never remade fucking uh Xenoblade Chronicles X because the online infrastructure is not too robust or whatever the
Man,
case.
come on. I doubt it, dude. I doubt it. Because if that was the case, there's two options, right? Either A, you do it without the online infrastructure at all, it's single player only, or B, like I can't imagine enough people would want to play X online that it would be that big of a problem. Like it's not like an always online persistent world that you're playing. Like you're just jumping into a lobby, right? So I wouldn't imagine that should be anything too taxing,
You never know, man. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, it may just be though that maybe that game is a little bit more ambitious than some of the other Xenoblade games, and they couldn't make it happen. I doubt that. I'm sure Monolith could make it work. It's just I don't think Nintendo cares. Like, unfortunately, X is I think the lowest selling entry in the franchise, probably, which
That
is
makes sense.
meaning that I don't think there's a lot of push for them to ever make it. So, all right, let's move on to Ubisoft. This isn't anything about the company, but specifically one of their studios. So, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown came out earlier this year. Actually thinking about Game of the Year, that might be the one for me. Now that I'm thinking about it. But I enjoyed that game a lot. It was a really fun Metroidvania. I thought it was excellent, and there was some DLC for it that came out a month or two ago. But it is pretty much been confirmed at this point that the team's been disbanded and there will not be a sequel to this game, which is a huge bummer for me, dude. Like, because I really like this game and I would love to have seen another entry for this, not necessarily with the same character, but like the same kind of game from the studio. I would have loved to see that. It unfortunately just didn't seem to hit whatever Ubisoft's requirements were sales wise, which it's so frustrating. You're gonna make a Metroidvania and like, what do you expect it to sell, dude? Like, you're expecting it to sell like 10 million copies, like, it's like this isn't a genre that has that kind of pull, So I don't know what their expectations were, but they were probably out of whack as usual. But Montreal, you never actually played this, right?
No, I have it. I do have it. I just every time I think about something to play or I'm about to play something, it never crosses my mind for some reason. It's just so many games out, and I'm trying to like
Yeah.
get through a lot of games. So,
Oh man, it's so
but from
good
what
though.
yeah, from what I hear though, a lot of people love the game. So,
Yeah. No, that's
this was
excellent.
this was disappointing because I even though I didn't play it yet, I was going to play it, and I heard a lot of people liked it, and yeah, I mean, they tried something not necessarily new, but kind of remixed the formula that was already there, and they kind of made it like a side-scrolling Devil May Cry Metroidvania type game. And
Yeah.
I don't know, just for them to like, I don't know, it's just unrealistic expectations in my opinion. I imagine the budget for that game wasn't astronomical, so I don't know. That's
I
just
mean, if it
weird.
costs more than 50 million to make, like that's a travesty,
Yeah.
honestly. Which is possible. It's certainly possible in today's day and age. So I don't know. But yeah, we're not getting a sequel, so it's a bummer. Anything else you want to say on this one?
No, that's it.
All right, moving on. All right, we got some sales data from Circana. A lot of stuff to talk about today, actually. So I'm going to start with a tweet thread from Matt Piscatella. He's kind of the main guy from Circana that speaks out publicly for most of their data. And he gave some statistics on physical and digital sales. So digital is still growing, but he said that there's been a bit of a slowdown in the US specifically in terms of the growth rate. So for January through August, for titles, both physical digital sales tracking. 53% of Switch software sales were done digitally, compared to 52% in the same period last year in 2023. PS5 is 78% digital versus 75% digital. 91% of Xbox software was done digital this year versus 90% last year. He did have some caveats. This isn't necessarily true demand. He mentioned that retailers are starting to be more conservative with what they buy for physical games nowadays. They're not buying the same allotments that they used to, which could be impacting some of these numbers. And also, they don't have digital sales for every single game. Not every publisher shares that data with them. So these numbers are actually likely higher as a result. But Montreal, I mean, just those percentages though, 78% on PS5 digital or sales of games on PS5 are digital. Even Switch is over 50% at 53%. And then Xbox, of course, barely has a physical games market at 91% of their sales being done digitally.
Yeah, it makes sense, to be honest with you, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. My last several games I bought digitally.
Yep.
I think my last physical game I bought was maybe Resident Evil 2, or
Wow.
yeah, Resident Evil 2 remake or Resident Evil
Really?
4 remake. Yeah, one of those. I
Well,
haven't
Resident
bought a
Evil 4 would have been last year, so that's not that long. But 2 was like, what was that, 3 years ago now? 4?
yeah. Yeah, it was Resident Evil 4 remake. That's the last physical game I bought. I'm looking at my little
Okay.
shelf here.
Okay.
Um, but even still, though, out of all the games I got, I don't have that many. I don't have that many discs. Because the reason why is because you have to install the game before you play it, and it still has to do like a DMR check or whatever. Um, and there's just no point in buying a disc anymore. Like they made it almost impossible to play the game without a disc. Um,
Right.
Even I don't know if you remember, we didn't talk about it, but like 2 weeks ago, PlayStation Online went down, and no one
Yeah.
only even if you had the game installed on your console, you couldn't play the game because it couldn't check the server to make sure that that game was like legit, a legit copy
Yeah.
on your PlayStation,
Right.
which is pretty wild to me, even if it was a single player game. Um, so yeah, I mean
So does that
everything,
mean
everyone.
you can't go offline and play your discs? Like, or is
I
it only
don't. I
certain
mean,
games maybe? Like, cuz
I
that's
think
weird.
so. From what I understood, a lot of people couldn't play their games because they would say like, "Oh, you can play this game for like 30 minutes, but if we don't get a check from the server, then it's going to shut down." And it's like, but yeah, it's my game. Like I don't know. I don't know how that check works or whatever the case may be. But I did see people doing that.
Yeah.
During that time, I wasn't playing my PlayStation. I was playing something else.
Mhm.
Or I think I
Me
was out of
either,
town
yeah.
actually. I think
Yeah,
I either
I
out of
wasn't
town.
playing PlayStation at that point, so it didn't affect
Yeah,
me.
so I can't verify that, but I did see some people who were like getting the DMR checks and stuff like that on certain games.
Yeah.
It was particularly pertaining to like Call of Duty as well. And I think that one has like a secondary check on Call of Duty, so that kind of makes sense. But yeah, but getting back to the digital thing, I only do digital now because it the only reason I have a physical console, is because I have a lot of physical PS4 games and some PS5 games.
Yeah.
Um, but if I was like to start a fresh start, I would tell people just get a digital only game console.
I
Um,
agree.
because they like I said, they literally made it impossible to play the game without the disc. Like if it was reading it off the disc, that would be okay while you're playing the game, but it literally installs the game and then plays it. So
Yeah.
there's no point in having a disc. The disc the disc is just there for a check. That's it.
Yeah.
So
No, and I mean, I think the only reason I can give anymore for why I would buy a physical game over digital is that you can sell it. You can resell the physical game. It's not
yeah.
like tied to your account or anything like that. So you can still do that, but there's no guarantee that that's going to continue into the future. And dude, this is kind of why I'm getting a PS5 Pro in a couple weeks, and I think it's time. I think I'm gonna make the switch to digital, dude. Like I think I'm doing it. Because I'm gonna sell my current PS5 and I'm not gonna have a disc drive anymore. Meaning that I think I'm just gonna sell all the games I have, like all the PS5 and PS4 games that I have. Because I mean, realistically, if I ever want to play any of them again, I mean, dude, I'm gonna be able to get them for like fucking pennies on the dollar with how old they are, for the most part. And it's just like I don't know if it's anything older than PS4, then I think there's value in having a physical copy of those games. But yeah, I think for the last two generations, there's no value in it anymore. It's just like I at this point I think I'm just gonna go with convenience and I'm gonna join the dark side. I don't know,
I
like
mean,
because I
honestly, it's not your fault. It's the way the system is set up now. The way they
right
literally have the console set up. You
right
can't play the game without installing it first, and it has to pull from the server as well when it's
right.
installing it. So
Right.
it's like,
Right. Yeah, I know. No, the game's not even on the disc. Every game
yeah,
every game I buy, when I put the disc in and it installs, it downloads the game. So
yeah,
it's
it's
like
not. I
there's no point in it anymore. So I've been buying I'd probably say, I don't know, a third of my purchases the last couple of years have been digital versus physical, and maybe even going up to half at certain periods of time, so I'm just like, whatever, dude. I think I'm just gonna do it because I don't want to buy the disc drive. I'm like, I don't want to spend $80 on that for number one, and number two, it's just like there's no point to it. It's like I'm not even really like, because the whole resale thing has been an advantage for me that I've had for forever, right? I've always resold games after I play them. But I've gotten much lazier about that in recent years, and I haven't done it in a long time. And I'm like, if I'm not even going to do that, then what's the point? Like, why am I even doing this? Like, it's just a charade, that I'm like playing. So I'm just like, whatever, dude. So I'm gonna embrace digital, which is crazy for me. I never thought I would do this, but I play on PC, so it's like, I mean, I know the game here, right? Like, it's not like this is anything new, but I just didn't think it would get like the 78% of sales on PlayStation or digital. Like, that is so stark. It is insane.
I mean, it's
Like,
not. If this was like 5 years ago, then I'd be like, this is insane. But now, the way they just design the consoles, man, it just makes sense now.
yeah,
Like, I don't know if there was a way for me to transfer all my physical games to digital,
digital.
I would. Yeah, I would just do that, and then like
Like, if you could like ship them to Sony or
yeah,
Microsoft and be like,
if you can do some,
verify the game and put it on my account, like,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that would
I
be
would just
cool.
keep them, but yeah, I don't know. I think
Well,
it's cool as a collector's item, but
it's not cool.
like
It's like these games don't have any value though. Like the last two generations,
yeah, they
like, dude,
don't, and that's why like Wukong's releasing this physical. I think at the end of this month,
yeah,
and it's like, yeah, why even? I mean, you can do it for like a collector's item, but that's about it.
like,
Like it,
yeah,
it literally doesn't make any sense.
like, dude, if you like, even going back to PS3, like, look at these games, dude. Like, I'm looking up the Uncharted trilogy, right? They're worth like you can buy them for like $8, physical, on PS3. It's like there's no value in them. They're not collector's items, they're fucking junk. Basically is what they are. So it's just like, and that's going to be true going forward for all of these. And honestly, the only time where it won't be true is when we're getting to the very end of this, where we're getting close to the day where they stop making physical games. At that point, that group of games might have value for a period of time, but it's like, there's no investment here. You're not investing in anything. Like, having a physical game collection is kind of meaningless at this point, for anything older than PS4. So, or sorry, newer than like PS4. So, honestly, so I don't know. I'm just gonna embrace it. It'll free up some space on my shelving. Make me a little bit of money, I guess. It's like, I don't know. I'm just like, fuck it, man. It is what it is. It's like, um, you know, I don't know. It's just kind of is what it is at this point. So, 91% on Xbox though. Game Pass has destroyed their physical game market on that console. It's crazy. The fact that they even have a physical disc drive in their consoles is weird. I don't know why they might as well just go full digital, but they probably won't, but they should at this point. So
I think they should just get rid of Game Pass and just I don't know. It's not really a good. At first, I thought it was good the way they were gonna do it. I thought it was a really cool, neat way for people to get into games, but
mm-hmm.
it's actually being a detriment to the game industry. So I think it should just go. Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's move on. This is also from Matt Piscatella via Twitter. He announced that EA Sports College Football 25 is now the all-time best-selling football video game in U.S. dollar sales. This record was previously held by Madden NFL 07, according to him, and it is now number 2 amongst all sports games in U.S. dollar sales, trailing only NBA 2K21. So yeah, EA Sports College Football 25. Montrell, this game was a hit. I mean, we said it was going to be. I didn't know it would be this crazy, but man, it's come back super strong.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I played it a little bit, and it's okay.
Is it just Madden with a different skin?
Yeah, they put a little bit more effort into this game though,
Yeah,
but
but that
it is
doesn't mean a whole
essentially
lot, does it?
yeah, it doesn't. And I fear 26 is gonna be just this reskinned again, and we're gonna get this for the next 15 years. So, as excited as I am for it to be back, it's still not NCAA. Like NCAA, they used to do way more. I think I just want old Madden and NCAA back, man. I just want that. I don't know who that team was who was working on those Madden games, but I think that's what I want. They were just trying more experimental shit. They had more, even when they didn't have competition anymore. Like Madden or in NCAA 13, or I think 13 was the last one they made. I think I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Play. But yeah, they were just trying more expensive stuff expensive stuff. They're trying more experimental things and just making the gameplay better and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. When I played it a little bit, I was just like, seems like Madden, but a little bit better, a little bit more experimental. You can create your own teams and all that stuff like that. You have a lot more options. And then what's funny is they took a lot of those options away in Madden for some reason. So I I don't know. But I did understand. I knew it was going to sell a lot because people wanted NCAA back, and this is NCAA but reskinned. So
yeah, man. I don't know. Yeah, it was a period of time. There was competition, and they felt the need to be a little bit more creative, and now it's just there's no creativity to Madden anymore. They're not experimenting with anything. They just release what they release, and people buy it. And it's like I think they're going to do the same thing with college football, unfortunately. They're rewarded for it though. Like it's just, dude. There is such there's such an obvious demand for both of these games, right? Like these games fill a market, but they're not like there's a bigger market than this though. I think if they had a competitor, the market would be larger, right? So I don't know, because obviously, because me and you don't play these games, and we want to, it's like, so there are people like us out there.
Do we know if college football do they own the license for that as well?
I don't know if it's an exclusive deal. It probably is, but I just think the complicated nature of doing this with college football in terms of having to play the players and dealing with the NCAA, like honestly, the only other company that even could do this is probably 2K. It's like otherwise, I don't think anybody else would ever be able to get in on this side of things. Madden's a little bit different. Like NFL's a little different. I think if somebody was able to negotiate with the NFL and make their case, they might be able to make it happen, but I just don't think the NFL is interested. They don't give a shit. I don't think they want to deal with it. I think they're just like, yay, free money from the fucking stupid football game, and and they're just going to keep taking it. You know, they like there's no thought beyond that until we get somebody running the NFL who actually plays video games and understands this situation. Will we get any kind of competition? So it's
Yeah,
because
I just hope 2K can probably use this as a stepping block to, you know, because it looks like the licenses are individual for the college students. So it's just like, yeah, like if 2K can start making a college football game, I think that would be like stellar. I think they should actually do that. And it's kind of weird that they didn't tap into that market before, in
yeah,
my
they never
opinion. Like
did,
it's,
right? They never had
yeah, they
a
never.
NCAA game.
No, and I think that's because it is because EA did own the franchise, or it did own the licensing, I believe, from 1998 to 2013. But yeah, they stopped. Then they stopped making it or whatever because of the likeness and stuff like that. I think no one else wanted to touch it, and then that law passed, or NCAA changed the ruling on like players and their likeness and stuff like that. Now I think that's why EA was like the first one to do it. But I think 2K should get into it as well, because I really want to play another football game from them, or to see what they
Yeah.
can do with a football game. Even though their basketball game, they have a Fortnite mode in it, but yeah. So.
Yeah, but isn't the gameplay at least solid in those games? I know it's a microtransaction like Hellscape, but like the
Oh
game is
yeah,
good
yeah,
though, right?
yeah. The game is still solid. I mean, there are like minor tweaks and stuff that they do. But overall, like it is. If it didn't have none of the bullshit, it would be a very very solid basketball game. That's why I like it so much, and that's why I hate it also, because it's a solid basketball game. But now they're starting to fall into the same rabbit hole as Madden, where they don't have any competition because EA is not even trying. Because people
Yeah.
want live NBA live to come back, which is EA's version for the NBA.
Yeah.
And yeah, for some reason EA just won't. They won't even try
Well,
anymore.
they keep trying. They keep incubating games and then they cancel them. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
they're just not capable of. They just don't seem capable of like making the game like, which is hilarious coming from EA, where they release Madden in the state it's in every year. But I guess whatever they're making with live is just not up to snuff. You know. And
Yeah, it's just weird.
even to their standards, it's not up to snuff because they know it'll just get fucking trounced. Well, that's the thing. They have competition in the NBA realm, right? So it's like they know they'll get fucking trounced by 2K if they don't release
Which is
something
funny
that's
because
actually good.
people like NBA Live 19. They still play it. A lot of people still play NBA Live 19. So people
Okay.
want a different game. People are legitimately tired of 2K. Like they're like, I'm fucking sick of this fucking
Mm-hmm.
company. I'm sick of everything. So I
Yeah.
mean, this is like a golden opportunity for them to jump into it. The same way with 2K, this is like a golden opportunity to jump into um college football. But I don't know. It's just and to be fair, I don't even think, does 2K have a football or a soccer game?
No.
Yeah.
Konami does. eFootball.
I mean, yeah, okay. Like
It used to be Pro Evolution Soccer is what it used to be called. And but they turned it into a free to play platform on their side, which I've always said EA should do with their
yeah.
with their shit, but they're never going to. So, but they're not real competition for EA's soccer game either. So
Yeah, and then I just found an article saying 2K boss responds to rumors of 2K FIFA game, says soccer sim would be incredibly difficult to make. So yeah, in other words, we're actually going to put money into it and try to actually make a good game.
I
Like
know that's
that's the
wild,
problem.
dude. Too difficult to make. What are you talking about, bro? Like EA makes one every year. What I obviously you need to build it from the ground up in some way, but it's like,
Bro, they don't.
are we at that
These
point? No, we're at that point with these billion-dollar companies that they don't want to invest the time and energy into building something from the ground up. They're like, oh no, we can just iterate on this game for the 100th fucking time and make $1 billion every year. So why would we spend the effort into building something new? There's no point. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, exactly. I they don't want to skip out on their bonus. Like, oh, if the game flops, then I'm not going to get my $5 billion bonus for the end of the year. Like, so it's whatever. I mean, it
Yeah,
is what it is.
it's cynical, man. All right, let's move on to Circana numbers for September. So we got these a week after the ones for August, which is hilarious. But so we'll go through this quickly here. Total video game sales for the month of September 2024 were 4.378 billion this year versus 4.679 billion last year. That is a 6% decrease year over year. Full video game content. This is digital physical game sales, microtransactions, subscriptions, etc. 3.91 billion this year versus 4.018 billion last year. That's a 3% decrease. Video game hardware, 251 million this year versus 445 million last year. That is a 44% decrease. And then video game accessories, 217 million this year versus 216 million last year. It's a 1% increase there. Montrell, are the declining sales in video games continue? I like at this point, do you take anything more out of this than this is just kind of like, because this is happening at a weird time, right? There was a pullback in 2022 after the COVID boom, right? That obviously happened. And then last year we had the slight kind of increase, like it was like 2 or 3%, right? But now this year we're seeing consistent downward trend for games again. What do you think this is? Like what is this, just fatigue in the industry in general? Is it kind of the hardware cycle we're in where maybe Switch is bringing things down, or it's just, I don't know, dude. Like what do you think's going on here?
I think it's fatigue. I think a lot of the gamers that were playing video games are not playing video games anymore because it wasn't their main hobby to begin with. I think we're finally starting to see the effects of COVID wear off as far as that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't think people are playing these games anymore, to be honest with you. And on top of that, I mean, there have been games coming out, but the industry itself is it's consolidating. It's kind of shrinking right now. If you like pay attention to like all the stuff that's going on and everything.
Right. Well, and then the
So
layoffs happening, the
yeah,
not only is it consolidating, but then truncating as well.
exactly. So um people aren't taking any risk anymore. I mean, they've been stopped that, but uh, on top of that, budgets for video games have inflated to astronomical rates, and it's just not, just not a good time right now for video games, in my opinion. And on top of it, like you said, I think the Switch uh, has a lot to do with it. Uh, Xbox being out of the picture has a big, like, whether people want to admit it or not, it has a big thing to do with it. Sony being on top, being the sole one on top, um, it's kind of bad for business, honestly. I like it when Sony's second place because they do crazy shit. Um, uh, yeah, and in my opinion, I mean, and a lot of people are actually going over to PC. I know it's not like super big, but it is still a thing that's happening. A lot of people are migrating over to PC and everything of that nature. And on top of that, we got a whole bunch of free to play games that have dedicated audiences now, and they don't feel the need to buy a game. And on top of that, combine that with the fact that our generation, the millennials, are the only ones really buying video games like that. To whereas like Gen Z, they are, but not to the degree that we are. And then Gen Alpha, they're not even. I don't even think they're even playing video games like that. They're like either playing
Mhm.
phone games or on TikTok or something like that. So uh,
Yeah.
there's definitely going to be a huge consolidation. I can see it happen within like the next 3 years. To be honest with you, like a huge
Yeah.
consolidation happens.
hmm Yeah. I think it's a confluence of factors, right? Like I think Nintendo's at the end of their cycle right now. I think that's having a big impact, especially on the hardware side. But even on the game sales side, there's no big game for them right now this year that's coming out. Like obviously, I know they had Zelda last month, but I don't think that's a huge game. Well, actually, I guess we'll see that on the list here if it showed up. But and then Xbox has just completely cratered as a platform in terms of their sales. And I think that's also having an impact as well. So it's like I think I think Sony and Nintendo are fine. Xbox is in serious trouble, but I do think there's something to take out of this, that maybe the industry's kind of a little stagnant right now. And maybe that's reflecting in these sales numbers. Is just there's just not enough interest in anything new. It's like we're just getting the same games over and over and over again. And eventually, in any market, when you're not kind of innovating at a certain point, you're going to stagnate in sales. Like, people are going to lose interest. You're going to lose customers. People aren't going to buy stuff because you're not doing anything new. So I kind of think that's happening here. It's probably a number of things contributing to this, but at the end of the day, I do hope this is somewhat of a wake up call for certain companies. I think Ubisoft is learning this lesson the hard way right now, and we'll see if it ends up impacting others as well. So a couple interesting notes here too from the data from Circana here is the 251 million hardware sales number is the lowest for September. Lowest monthly spend on hardware, lowest monthly hardware spend total for a September month since 2019, which was 242 million, which was the year before the PS5 and the Xbox Series X came out. So that's interesting to note. And then the other thing was that this Xbox Series X is slightly edging out the Series S. It's 51% to 49% of total Xbox Series life to date sales. So the Series X is now taking a hold slightly, but that just goes to show you this is another contributing factor. I think the Xbox's decline is just how much the Series S proliferated out there and how much of a boondoggle it has turned into for getting games on their platform, because they require developers to be games have to run on the S in order to release on Xbox. That has largely been true. And I think that's had a negative impact for them as well. So
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
2024 overall sales, I'm not going to read the numbers, but total video game sales are flat 0%. Video game content is up 3%. Hardware is down 30%, and accessories are up 7% year over year. So we got 3 more months, and we'll see how the rest of the year shakes out. Top 20 best-selling games in the U.S. for September 2024. Number 1, EA Sports FC 25. Number 2, Astrobot. Number 3, Madden NFL 25. Number 4, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. There you go. Number 5, EA Sports College Football 25. Number 6, Star Wars Outlaws. Number 7, NBA 2K 25. Number 8, Hogwarts Legacy. Number 9, NHL 25. Number 10, God of War Ragnarok. Number 11, Dead Rising. 12, Final Fantasy 16. 13 is Elden Ring. 14 is Minecraft. 15 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. 16 is Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. Number 17 is Age of Mythology. 18 is Space Marine 2, Warhammer 40K. 19 is Ghost of Tsushima. And 20 is EA Sports MVP Bundle. Anything jumping out to you there, Montrell?
Uh, yeah. Well, I guess not jumping out to me, but it's kind of weird. Oh, okay. God of War Ragnarok and Final Fantasy 16 had a re-release for PC, so that's
Yeah.
probably why it's up there. Um, I'm actually surprised that Star Wars Outlaws outsold NBA 2K25. I mean, I know that's the physical sales, but I don't know about EA.
Yeah, that's got to be the only explanation.
Yeah,
Because NBA 2K25's digital sales not being included, that game would probably be number 2. You would think, I
yeah,
would imagine, at least, maybe over the soccer game from EA. So Astrobot being a 2 though, that's cool. That's good to see.
yeah. That was pure word of mouth.
Yeah,
So,
right. And then
so I
yeah.
mean, this is to date though. I don't know. Yeah, this is to date, but uh, I'm sorry, Space Marine 2 has sold 4.5 million copies to
Wait,
date.
really?
Space Marine 2, yeah, they just confirmed it.
Oh, okay. So digital's not included for them on this list either. That's why they're at number
Yeah,
18. But dude, if
yep,
that was included, then they would be way higher. So this game, um, has probably a very large split in terms of digital physical, like 80-20 or something like that, I would imagine.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, so that's why these lists, unfortunately, this is the shitty part about this is I wish everybody shared their data with Circana because it like you always have to take this stuff with a grain of salt with certain titles. It's like NBA 2K25 would probably be number 2 or number 1. You know, Space Marine 2 would definitely be much higher on the list, like probably number 5, you know, something like that probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somewhere in there I would imagine. If 4.5 million sold, I mean, it might even be 3 or 4, honestly. Because Star Wars Outlaws supposedly only sold like, you know, barely sold 1 million according to Ubisoft, I think. So you know, but it's number 6, so the game is selling, I think. So, you know, it's probably doing okay for them. But otherwise
So
the
it
other
said.
yeah.
So this right here. I mean, they give. So I mean, yeah, digital. I mean, these are like you said, digital and physical. But Space Marine 2 surpassed 2 million in the first day after it launched.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So
great for that team.
yeah, they would definitely be higher if digital were included. Because I was just wondering, that's what made me look at it. I'm like, Space Marine is everywhere. Like I see it everywhere, and maybe this is my algorithm as well. But no, like a lot of people were playing Space Marine. They were like, hey man, should I play Space Marine too? And I'm like, yeah, you should fucking play it. So there's people who don't really play video games like that calling me and asking me about that fucking game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Interesting note. Only one Nintendo game, which was a new release on the list this month.
yeah, this has been a sleeper. A lot of people have not been talking about this game actually.
Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot about it. I've heard positive buzz for sure on it. But I don't know. It's just, dude, if I had more time, I would play a game like this. I'm just not that into it anymore though. Like I don't know. I'm feeling like Switch is like I might not even get the Switch 2, to be honest. Like I feel like I'm phasing out of Nintendo right now. I just don't have time for it as like a third platform, you know.
Yeah. I mean, they need to get off the Switch. Like I think it's been time for them to get off the Switch. They need to. I think other companies are waiting for them to get off the Switch as well. I mean, I just hope when the Switch 2 releases, they have some good breakout hits.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'll probably just wait a year to more games come out for it, and like, okay, now I can switch over as well. So,
Yep. All right, top 20 games of the year so far. So number 1, EA Sports College Football 25. Number 2, Helldivers 2. Number 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. That's last year's Call of Duty. Number 4, EA Sports MVP Bundle. Number 5, Elden Ring. Number 6, Dragon's Dogma 2. Dude, Elden Ring sold more than Dragon's Dogma 2. It's fucking nuts, dude. Number 7, Madden NFL 25. Number 8, MLB The Show 24. 9, WWE 2K 24. 10, EA Sports FC 25. 11, Hogwarts Legacy 12. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth 13, Tekken 8. 14, NBA 2K 24. 15, Grand Theft Auto 5. 16, Madden NFL 24. 17, Minecraft. 18, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. 19, EA Sports FC 24. 20, P3 Persona 3 Reload. God, this list is depressing as all fucking hell. Jesus
yeah, and
Christ.
I'll be honest with you, if EA has some kind of like layoffs, they're definitely lying. Look at how these
Dude,
games
it's like
sold.
half the list is sports games.
Yeah, they're definitely lying. If they lay off any of their studios, they're lying. Like, I'm sorry, like it's just greed at this point. They
Bro,
have enough.
for
They have
real.
enough capital for Respawn to make like a experimental game, or for
They can make 10 experimental games. Dude, like they're making billions of dollars every year. Like it's like I'm sorry. Like, oh my god, it's fucking wild, dude. It's fucking wild. Like the only game on here, like it's like Dragon's Dogma 2 and like Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Like otherwise it's like Hogwarts Legacy, game from last year, Elden Ring, game from 2 years ago. Helldivers 2, I guess, that's another one. And then you've got
yeah,
sports game, Call of Duty, sports game, sports game, sports game, sports game, sports game, sports game, Grand Theft
Why
Auto,
is Suicide
Minecraft,
Kill the
sports
Justice
game,
League on here? By the way, did that
sports
game really?
game.
Did that game
It
really
sold
sell
a
that
lot.
much?
Yes, it sold a shitload. Yeah, dude, it's been on the list all year. It sold a lot. And then you've got like Tekken 8. You know, it's like what are the games that aren't sports games and aren't from last year or the year before? Like it's like Helldivers 2, Dragon's Dogma 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Tekken 8, and Persona 3 Reload, and then Suicide Squad. 6 games that just fulfill the criteria that I just said. That aren't sports games and were released this year. That's insane. So that does this not speak to what we're seeing though in terms of the stagnation of sales? Like there's just not a lot of interesting games, I guess, that are like really pushing sales numbers. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say there aren't good video games, right? There I've had a lot of fun this year. Like there's been a lot of great games. It's just that I don't think I can't sit here though and say that like any of these games are like moving the needle, right? Like for people.
I just don't
on
like
a
sports
mass
games,
scale.
bro.
Yeah.
I
I think
I'm
literally
sorry.
half the list is sports games.
I just don't
1,
respect
2.
sports games, man. I love the player base and how dedicated they are. I just don't respect the games, man. And it's like maybe I don't respect them too, but I do respect them because they're video game players.
Yeah,
But it's just like
9 of the games are sports games.
yeah, I don't know, man. It's at the point where I'm just like, really, guys, like
Well, it's like so
what
easy.
is
Like
so
there's
good about Madden 25 that's different from Madden 24? Like literally
nothing.
nobody can tell
Nothing.
me, and they try to give me like little stuff in my group chat, and I'm just like, bro, that that's stupid, bro. I'm not about to do like in the fact that my other group chat, my casual group chat, they're like, oh, I play Madden Ultimate Team all the time, and I'm just like, oh my god, y'all do? And you're gonna re-up on 25, and you're gonna play Madden Ultimate Team in that too?
But
It's
you should
just I don't
you
get
just
it,
need to
man.
make sure like ask your friends every once in a while, you guys doing okay? Cuz like I I
No,
feel
I mean
like
they're casual. They're like the ultimate casuals. They're like they ask me like for video game stuff, like
yeah, I know, but I'm talking from like a monetary standpoint, right? Cuz Mutt is like a money mode, you know? It's
yeah, I
intended to
know.
extract money from you. So it's like, I don't know. It,
I think they're just not necessarily like my friends, but I think the player base in general is just groomed into it now,
yeah,
where it's like a normal thing for them, you
right.
know.
No.
Like, and
Totally.
I don't know. Like for us, like right when we see skins from League, we're like, should I buy it? Should I not buy it? Whatever. But it's like that's a free to play game, and even Overwatch and stuff like that. Those are free to play games. Now, I wouldn't mind this stuff if Madden was a free to play game. I wouldn't mind it. Sell your mutt, bro. Do what you gotta fucking do. But it's not. I don't see the
Right.
point in buying Madden every year. I don't see the point in buying 2K every year. I just don't see it. So that's why I haven't bought sports games in a while. And that's why I constantly get upset when I do see sports games on the list because none of them, like you said, push the needle. Like back in like the golden era of sports games, like that 2000s to 2013 ish era, man, sports games were like really good because they were pushing the needle. But now it's just like the same fucking shit, bro. Like, I don't know. I don't know,
Well,
man.
let's move on to our next story because you want to get more depressed about this. So, Matt Piscatella also released an article with the rankings of the top 20 best-selling games from the years 2000 through 2023. And I'm just going to read the top game for each year because we're going through the whole list would be insane. But 2000, Pokemon Gold and Silver. That's the most unique game on this list, by the way, that I'm about to read. 2001, Madden NFL 2002. 2002, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. 2003, Madden NFL 2004. 2004, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. 2005, Madden NFL 06. 2006, Madden NFL 07. 2007, Guitar Hero 3, Legends of Rock. 2008, Rock Band. 2009, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. 2010, Call of Duty Black Ops. 2011, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. 2012, Call of Duty Modern Black Ops 2. 2013, Grand Theft Auto 5. And then 2014 through 2017's all Call of Duty, 2018's Red Dead Redemption 2, then 2019 through 2022 is all Call of Duty, and then 2023 is Hogwarts Legacy. I mean, this isn't a new trend, Montrell.
Yeah,
it's not a new trend.
So I will say for 2001, 2003, 2005, 2006, 2009, and 2010, I contributed to that 100%.
Yeah, and would you say those are good games though that actually deserve it?
Yes.
Okay,
Madden 07 in particular, or actually, my favorite one was Madden 04.
That's when they started the Vic one, right? That's the Vic.
Yeah.
That was where Vic was an absolute terrorizer in the game, right? Like you couldn't stop him.
That's when they started that scramble mode for the QBs. Because you remember it didn't used to zoom out, or you remember when you were about to scramble in 2003, the camera zoomed back in, but then in 2004 they changed the scramble mode to where you can scramble and your camera will be still zoomed out while you're scrambling. And it just changed the entire game for me. And I love that. But yeah, I mean, I contribute to a lot of these games. Like, Modern Warfare 2 obviously was like one of the best Call of Duties ever made, and Black Ops was definitely a runner-up for sure. I can interchange between both of them because Black Ops had the original zombies. Black Ops 3. I mean, Modern Warfare 3 fucking sucked. Black Ops 2 was good. Advanced Warfare fucking sucked. Black Ops 3 fucking sucked. But I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. Rock Band, I can say me and DJ contribute to Rock Band because
I did too.
I had a whole set, or I had the drums and he had the guitar and he had the mic and stuff like that. So yeah, we contribute to Rock Band. Guitar Hero.
2008. I worked in Target in 2008, and I worked in the electronics department, and we sold a lot of Rock Band.
It was fun as fuck, man.
There were specific versions though on like PS2 that were on the shelf forever, like would never sell. Nobody came in and bought them, obviously. And every other, like the 360 and PS3 ones, would fly off the shelves, right? But it was like those old consoles were so fucked. But yeah, man, that was what an era that was. 2007, 2008. 2007 has Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock, Guitar Hero 2, and Rock Band all on it. And then 2008 has Rock Band, Guitar Hero World Tour, then Guitar Hero 3 also on it. Like, and Rock Band 2. Rock Band 2, that's right. Oh, yeah, 2008 was Rock Band 2. What? Dude, wait. The original Rock Band sold more than Rock Band 2 in the year it came out? What the fuck? That's so weird.
Because nobody wanted to play Rock Band 2. Everybody was still playing Rock Band 1.
Oh my god, man. That's crazy. That's hilarious. No, these lists, these old lists are fun. Like 2000 is hilarious. It was Pokemon Gold, Silver, and then Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. And then you've got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 as 3 and 4. Then you got Majora's Mask as 5. Diablo 2's in there at number 8. Pokemon Yellow's in there at 9. Mario Party 2's in there at 11.
Look how diverse this list was. And then
I know.
Actually, you know what? The first couple it starts to get a little bit more crazy. It starts to get a little bit more
dude. Okay. To be fair, in 2000, numbers 12, 13, and 17 were WWE games.
They were good games, man.
I know SmackDown and No Mercy is the one I know. Yeah, SmackDown and No Mercy. Those are the ones everyone always talks about.
Yeah, I had SmackDown. We used to love that shit. Oh,
okay. This is well deserved though. Number 18 in the year 2000, Roller Coaster Tycoon. Let's go! Oh what a game!
You know what? I'm actually surprised it's not on here. Fucking The Sims. Oh wait, The Sims 2.
Yeah, it is. What are you talking about, dude? Sims is on the year 2000. It's on 2000. Yeah. It's on 2003. The Sims 2 is in 2005. Yeah, Sims is all over this.
Look at 2005. Number 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Crazy. Yep.
What a time. Need for Speed Most Wanted, dude. Oh, what an era. Holy shit. Star
Need for
Wars
Speed
Episode
Underground
3
2.
Revenge of the Sith. I remember that game. That game sold well. Bro,
Yeah, man, I bought
I
that game.
rented that game and I beat it over a weekend, and I loved the shit out of that game. It was terrible, but it was so fun to do the lightsaber duels. Like, oh man.
Yeah, this is a crazy list. Yeah, I recommend you guys go check out this list.
Yep. It's posted publicly on Circana, so anybody can go see it. There's some really fun stuff on here though. World
And
of
remember,
Warcraft.
majority of these are physical, especially like before 2010. Like
Yeah.
majority of these are physical games.
Well, dude, World of Warcraft's number 19 on the 2005 list. Which is
Wait,
hilarious.
really?
Because it came out in 04, but it came out in November, like really late November 04.
Yeah, you had to buy it physical too. That's crazy.
You did. And by 2005, I think they were already phasing that out. Like it was already becoming a digital game, but there were still physical copies out there you could buy. You know,
bro, you remember walking into Best Buy and seeing the physical?
Dude, I went day one.
You remember walking into Best Buy though? It was still happening for a while. I used to see the bundle pack for StarCraft all the fucking time.
Oh, for 15 years, like it was there. That was one of the last things they got rid of, dude. That shit sold probably like hotcakes, man. Like that in the Warcraft battle chest, the Warcraft 3 battle chest, and then the Warcraft 2 one. They had those 3 battle chests. Oh, and they had the Diablo one too, actually, now that I think about it. The Diablo battle chest also.
Yeah.
Those all were there forever in the PC area. Like but dude, they would sell, man. You know, it's like who wouldn't want to play those games? I mean, oh man, what a time. Oh man. Yeah, this is kind of fun to go through here, but
the list is still diverse all the way up, and even in the 2000s, the 2010s, it's still really diverse.
Yeah, it's like the late teens into the 20s where we're starting to get really homogenized.
Yeah, you can start to see it
where it's just the same games over and over and over again. But
yeah.
But dude, this is the thing. This is kind of what the industry's given us, you know? And it's like they kind of did this, right? Like they release these same games every year, and it's like we're not getting a lot of innovation and new games and new franchises. So it's just you're going to see the same games every year, you know? I mean, Mario Kart 8 is on this list multiple times. Like, holy shit, dude. This might be the first year in a long time where it's actually not on there.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah.
Actually, was it on there last year? Actually, no, it wasn't in 20. It wasn't in the top 20 in 2023. So
okay.
But
that's the year started to fall off where people started to stop buying.
Market saturation had finally been reached at 70 million copies sold or whatever it is. Yeah, I would hope so. Like it's insanity, dude. It's totally insane. But all right. Well, Montrell, that was fun. Anybody else you want to see this? It's on Circana's website. If you want to go check it out, definitely would recommend it. All right. Well,
I do want to shout out one game. I don't. This is why I don't usually take reviews seriously, like whatever. And I know we do the guess the Metacritic score, and everything. But the Sonic X Shadow thing got a fucking 9 out of 10 from IGN.
Mm-hmm.
That has like never fucking happened, bro. It has a 10 out of 10 on Steam.
Wow.
It's sitting at an 80% Metacritic right now.
I mean,
me personally, I never played a Sonic game. I never played a Sonic game. It's a 9 out of 10. Honestly, never played a Sonic game.
Are you gonna get it? I mean, you have.
Yeah, I'm getting it tomorrow. Yeah, I'm getting it tomorrow.
Okay, I was gonna say you have to like check this, don't you?
Yeah, I have to, because even the best Sonic game to me, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, is still an 8 out of 10 for me. Yeah. So it's like I never played a 9 out of 10 game, so I don't know. I'm actually curious what that has, Sonic Adventure.
Were you gonna get Silent Hill 2, by the way?
No.
Is that out of lack of interest, or because the game's reviewing very well? People are very happy with it.
Yeah, it's a lack of interest for me. I mean, I'll play it, but it's definitely a Black Friday buy for me.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, but I've heard like it's like super good. So, but I've been playing. It was either that or play fucking Metaphor, and I chose Metaphor for that game.
Metaphor, ReFantazio. All right. Well, that's all we got this week. Montrell, anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here today?
No. So Sonic Adventure 2 is sitting at a 73. Sonic Adventure. Oh, no, that's Sonic Rush Adventure. That's not Sonic Adventure. So sorry, I was just trying to check that out and see what was going on. Yeah, I mean, the Sonic Adventure or the Sonic Advance games and the Sonic Adventure games are probably their best games. Sonic's best games, but those are 2D games. He doesn't have a really good 3D game, so this is gonna have to be like very good for me to be like, okay, guys, let's see what you're going with.
Well,
But
I'll trust you too. I feel like you're pretty objective with when it comes to Sonic. You're not like a fanboy.
I should be a fanboy, but I just know Sonic is.
You're just not that type of person, though. I feel like I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of something you're like a fanboy of, where you're like, like I don't know. I can't even think of it. Like,
like that I don't look at it with an objective lens.
yeah, right.
I think I do that with Monster Hunter. Either Monster Hunter or Mass Effect. One of those.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. As because I think we both do this with Monster Hunter. We're both very critical of the franchise, but then like the game comes out and we're like, it's like we can't stop ourselves from drooling all over it. So it's like,
I mean, it's like crack. You just
oh
need
man,
it,
just one
like,
hit, man, just one hit. I just need one hit, and I'll just put it down. It's like that. And then you take the hit, and nope, you're gone. It's over.
I will say, Rise was the first one though where I legitimately dropped that game after 40 hours. That is the first time I did that with the Monster Hunter. Like 40 hours, I dropped it. I just stopped playing the game after that.
Yeah, they just it wasn't the blue stuff. They didn't give us the blue stuff with Rise.
Yeah,
that was like the shitty knockoff version of the crack.
Yeah, they could have kept Rise. Honestly, they could have kept Rise. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It has its defenders though. People love that game, so you can have it.
What am I a fanboy of? Warcraft 3, Heroes of Might and Magic
Warcraft.
3,
yep,
and Xenoblade, the whole Xenoblade Chronicles franchise. Yeah, definitely. Those are my.
Well, okay, you hate to. Let's be honest.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I want to stick I want to take Andy's head and just shove it in a pile of sand until he admits that 2's not that good, like it's
no. Okay, so the reason I hate 2 is because it's everyone's first experience, including myself. Well,
yeah,
no,
and no one's willing to go play the superior game, which is 1.
Well, I can't say that about myself. Okay, so I did play Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I had it on the Wii, and I didn't like give it a chance properly because it was on the Wii. I fucking hated the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I had it. No, I had it with 3DS as well, but that's after I played 2. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, it's Xenoblade Chronicles 2, man. I'm sorry, I know we're about to get off. I'll let y'all go.
You're good.
But, we're good. There was this thread or whatever, and it was like, best voice acting games, and it had like Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah. Sure. That deserves to be up there.
It had like 4 games in there. It had Baldur's Gate, Final Fantasy 16. And then it had another game in there. I can't remember the other game. It had a really good voice acting.
And then it had Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
They snuck Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in there.
You're gonna put a Xenoblade game in a list like that, and it's gonna be 2? 2?
No, okay. I'm gonna define it. It had to be.
Oh, dude, Pyra is the worst. Okay, Rex has some lines that are just some of the most cringe-worthy shit, and delivery is so bad, bro.
This is what it is, right? It said, "I love English. I love English VA cast or whatever." So voice actor casting. And it had Metaphor, which I agree. Final Fantasy 16, which I mean we all unanimously agree, and then Bloodborne. And then they snuck, which Bloodborne does have really good voice acting. The thing I did notice about this list though is they're all like European accents, European accents, like
Mm.
Britain or
I mean, they do sound objectively better in video games.
They do. We're not even going to deny
I don't
that.
know why. I don't know why. It just feels like that's true.
It feels more authentic. It does feel more authentic.
Definitely.
And then they had Xenoblade Chronicles too. And like you said, Pyra is the sole reason that game has the worst voice acting I've ever heard in my entire fucking life.
She's so flat, dude. Oh, it's awful.
There's
no emotion to that character whatsoever, dude. Like, and Rex, dude, there's some stuff I've seen over the years, like some clips of certain scenes of him, and it's awful, dude. Like, there's some really awful parts. Yeah, some of the screaming he does is horrible in the game, and I'm like, how did I not notice this the first time playing through? And I'm like, it's got to be the music. Like, the music was so epic, and it's just like,
it was because Pyra distracted you from how bad.
True, she was so bad. She's so bad, and like adjacent to him, like by association, he's good. It's like
Nina, in my opinion, carried the entire. She carried it. Nia did. But
that's why I love when
This is a hot take. This is probably gonna be between me and you. This is probably where we divide, right? Until Xenoblade 3 came out, Xenoblade 1 had the best voice acting. But Xenoblade Chronicles 3, that's some primo voice acting there, buddy.
No, dude, I don't disagree with you.
Really?
Like, okay, this is what I'll say, right? I'm a fanboy for Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I know this, and I'm not objective about it. Like, there's no objectivity when I talk about that game. Like I know the game has flaws, but I can't see them. It's like I'm physically incapable of like seeing them for myself. I am just head over heels. Like, there's just something about Xenoblade Chronicles 1, the world, the characters, the villains, everything, the music, all of it put together, the voice acting, all of it put together. And it's like legitimately my perfect JRPG. Like, and there's been no game I've ever played that's ever come close to it, And so I know that when I'm coming into these conversations. So I have to sit there though and like think about it. Dude, 3 has a really great cast of characters, and like the voice acting is excellent, man. Like, I just like it is really good in that game. I think the villains are really good. And I think the main party is excellent for the most part. Besides, what's her name? The little girl who's like super strong. I forget her name. I'm forgetting her name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I think her name's Senna. I think
her voice acting is not great, but like some of the other ones, like, dude, Uni is one of my favorite characters in the entire fucking franchise. Yeah, I love her. Like, she's awesome. So
yeah, she's a really cool character. I like her.
And I think Noah is fucking excellent. Like, he's like Shulk tier, in terms of VA and character development.
If you were to say, like, I can't put one over the other, to be honest with you. As far as main characters, like, they are really good main characters, man. And I don't know, man. Noah was like really good, but Shulk was like really good too. But Noah was like really good. Rex is bottom tier. He's just a Giga Chad. Like, that's why they had to give him 3 wives.
That's why you had to get, that is exactly why. Dude, it's totally unjustified, okay? His rank within the fan base is totally unjustified. Like,
it's because it's the first word, bro.
I don't hate 2, okay? I want to be clear.
What I
hate about 2, though, is that its ranking within the fan base is completely unjustified because it's the worst game, and everybody talks about it like it's the best game, and it's the worst one. It's just, it's infuriating.
I think the blades carry the game, and I think people get blinded by the blades. But I can't even say combat wise. Okay, I will say 2 has the best chain attacks by far. Yeah. They have the best chain attacks. 3 awful chain attacks. Oh my god, I will play. If I can play the entire.
I get PTSD thinking about replaying that game because of the chain attacks.
Fucking music in my head.
No, I hear it right now, dude. I hear it right now. It's awful. But dude, the game, like, I need to go look up if they added a quality of life feature to let you skip them or not.
I guarantee you
Because
they did.
if they didn't, I can't think of playing the game again. Like, that's the issue with 3 is the chain attacks are just, oh man,
Yeah,
like,
and then one chain attacks are basic, but that's all you fucking need, bro. Like that's it.
no, that's why
That's
I
it.
like 1 because, dude, it's not overly complicated, and the game is just like the game's just fast. It just feels fast compared to the
Out
other
the
ones.
gate is out the gate is fast. They for
Yeah,
some reason they did that trend in 2 where they bar the shit behind random shit, and then in 3 you just randomly fucking unlock it. It's so
yeah,
fucking annoying, bro. But 1 was
yeah.
just fast out the gate. I love that about 1. I think that's why I love 1 so much because it's just like the story was straightforward, and then the twists start to come at the end. But like the story is just pretty straightforward. You got a villain, you know what you're doing, and you know why you're doing it, and we're going straight forward. That's it, baby. That's all I need.
Look at how professional this man is. I'm playing the music, and he's just powering through it. Who doesn't remember this from Xenoblade Chronicles 3? Tell me who doesn't remember this fucking song. It's all you hear the whole game.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's not a good that chain attack that shit needs to go
And then the
away.
voice lines, like, it's the same voice lines all over and over and over again too. It's like the same animations over and over and over again. It's just, oh, I don't know what they were thinking with that one. Oh man, because like it's not even like in 1, right? Chain attacks are the same way, right? Like it's the same animation, same voice lines, but they happen in like 15 seconds. Whereas in 3, they're like, let's multiply 15 seconds by 100, and that's the chain attacks. That's how long the chain attacks are going to take in this game. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of wish they would have just kept 2 or 1's chain attack system, but because even Xenoblade X, I mean, that game's super fast once you get.
Oh
Yeah, that game.
fuck yeah, dude. Dude, X has the best combat in the franchise to
Yes,
me. Like
by far.
it's like 1's combat super refined,
That's what makes that game so bad for me, though. Like, because it
Yeah.
has the best combat, but like the story is awful.
Yeah. Worst story, best combat, best exploration is also an X in my opinion.
Yeah,
I loved exploring that world, dude. It was such a fucking it was such a joy. Like I that game is awesome. But yeah, the story in that game is bottom tier. World building and lore though, excellent. Like that's a world I want to go back to. They
I
had
don't
their
think they're.
own alien races and shit that they made up and stuff, and like dude, like they could make a Mass Effect style game in that universe, I think, personally. But they never
Yeah, I
would.
mean, I hope they revisit it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
would
that's
like
it
to
for
see
me
them
though.
make like sorry, last comment. What I would like to see
Yeah.
them do with it is make a Star Ocean style JRPG in that Xenoblade Chronicles X universe.
Do you want
That's
the
kind of what
combat, or you just want the story, like storytelling of Star Ocean?
yeah, the more like story structure of Star Ocean where you're like kind of
Okay.
planet hopping in like a more of like a spacefaring adventure. You're
Yeah,
not stuck
yeah.
on one planet for the whole game, is kind of what I mean. Um I think it would be awesome to kind of see some of these other races and like what their civilizations are like in out in space, like that'd be really cool thing for them to explore, because that's the one thing with Xenoblade that it's always like there's a lot of sci-fi elements to it, but they never go there really. Even in the space, even in the game that is in space, where you're like, the Earth gets destroyed at the beginning of the game, and you go to a different planet, you never leave that planet again. So it's like it would be cool to see them kind of play around with that idea of like a spacefaring adventure. But
Yeah, they always do this weird, like apocalyptic esque type futuristic game. It's never like you
worlds
said.
on
It's
the
never
decline, is what I would call it.
okay.
Usually they're not
Yeah,
actually in the apocalypse yet; they're heading towards it. That's usually the state of things at the beginning of the game. I'd say that's true in all 3 games.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, Montrell, unless you got anything else, let's get the hell out of here.
All right.
All right. If you guys like this episode, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please subscribe to us on YouTube. That would help us out a lot. If you'd like to interact with us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I'm at Thunder01, and the show is at the Player's Take. If you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And that's going to be it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next week.